Welcome back to my Drupal class chapter 6. Hope you are doing great. So today's topic is on search engine optimizations. So search engine optimizations is a very big topic, but these are the preliminary modules which will help to optimize the search engines. So for example, meta module, then XML sitemap, site verify, the Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, and so on. This community build modules help to enable your search engine capability into your site. So for example, meta module. Okay, so before going into details describing the different community modules, let me clarify what is search engines in a simple way. So, whenever any end user is searching for any elements, any objects, or any day to day commodity in his life, for example, he wants to have a Samsung mobile phone with a certain versions. So, he will search in the site, and Google will what he'll do, it will searches across the thousands of websites specific to the keywords which is being used by the end user. He will crawl all the websites wherever it will find. So once it matches with a particular content in any websites, it will pull all those pages and show into the search results page. Okay, so now if you do this, you will see there are thousands of pages are displayed in the search results. And here the role of search engine optimizations comes onto play. So every website who is selling this particular mobile, they want their page to come on the first page of the results. Now, in order to achieve that, there are certain parameters which you need to work on your website on daily basis. So I'm not going to describe all those details for SEO, but obviously the list of modules which I'm going to describe will help for SEO. So let me go back to my Drupal instance to start with. So first I need to search with the meta modules. So if you see the list of modules I already enable for this. So if you download the meta tag from the drupal.org and you will add into your sites all module folder, then you would see the list of meta tags here. There are a lot of meta tag folders you would find, but among them I just enable meta tag Facebook, meta tag fab icons, meta tag open graph, meta tag Twitter cards, and meta tag verifications. So you can go also the other parts in detail, but for today's sessions I'm not going to describe all those. And I have saved this from before, and now this meta tag attribute will show for any content. So let me go to any content. Let me edit the content. So if you go down at the left hand side, you can see this meta tag which is appearing here. The first text field is space title. So you can give any relevant title name which is associated with this particular page. And if it is not necessary, it will be the same which you used in this title. But of course, if you're not mentioning anything here, it will take this default title from here. But if you want to change that, you can change it from here. And the next important thing is the description and the keywords. So it's very wonderful. You will get guidelines just beneath this text area. So your description should be within the 150 characters, which actually help to increase your search engine optimizations property. And this description should be very precise and in accordance with the relevance of the page content. Okay, the next is keywords. Also, these keywords should be some words and not like a sentence, and relevant to the page content. So whenever any users searching with a certain content is, and which is very related to this particular page, what the Google will do, it will crawl the page. It will certainly try to read the meta keywords and the description. Okay, and there's some other parameters the Google used to read the other parts of the page as well, but meta keywords and description has some precedence to that other earlier, the other parts of the content. Now let me describe the other parts. So if you click on this open graph, this basically helps to interpret your contents by the different social media uh, platform. So if you give a certain image path here, it will basically show whenever you share your page in a Facebook, the Facebook has his preview in the during the sharing. You will see there is an image and some title and descriptions which used to display, and those are basically incorporated or read from this section. Okay, and if you don't mention here, and what does the Facebook do, it basically reads some default page contents or images, which is not obviously good for improving your page content. So it is applicable for Twitter as well. So if you go down, you see there's a Twitter account. So in Twitter, once any end user is sharing your content, and in the preview there is basically some text which used to display and into the wall of the Twitter, and those contents can be written here specific to this page. So this is pretty much very important part. If you consider the search engine optimizations, there are obviously a lot of other parameters. You should go through each of these components if you really want to do the optimizations regarding the search engines into your website. Let me go back to the next modules in my PPT. It's XML Sitemap. What basically it does is generate the list of URLs from your site. So there is one community module called XML Sitemap. Let me show you. Let me go back to my Drupal instance. Here, let me search with XML Sitemap. So let me enable that. So let me enable sitemap node. So what it will do, it will track your nodes. If you enable the menu, then it will track your menu items as well. So that's enough. And if you want to track any custom page which is being built from your custom modules, you can do that as well by enabling this particular sub modules. So let me save this. As soon as I save it, the installation is complete. Now let me go to configure this XML sitemap. So there's the setting options here. So right now you can see this content type is excluded. So you need to include that. Unless you include, it will not come into the site XML list. So let me go back to content type, news. So if you go down, you need to include it. So likewise, you can include any content types into sitemap XML. Let me go back to sitemap XML configuration. Let me search with that. So you see the sitemap XML link is generated. It comes usually with this sitemap XML after the URL name. So let me rebuild the links. I'm just rebuilding the links with the news content type. So of course the list of pages under the news will appear here. You would not be able to see the other content types since I have not added or included under this. So this sitemap XML, which you need to do as a next step, you need to go into a Google console. You need to submit this URL. If you are using the live URL, so it will come like this: xx.com/sitemap.xml, and you need to add this into Google console so that Google will track all your pages under the sitemap XML. And if you don't want certain URLs to be indexed or read by the Google, you should not include into your sitemap XML. I have forgot to show one more thing, important thing about robot.txt. Robot.txt is one of the important file in SEO, where you can allow certain URLs to be indexed and certain list of URLs not to be indexed, which is called de-indexing. So if I edit this, so if I go into meta tags, let me show you one more important settings here. If you go into advanced tags, you can see there is a checkbox option for robot.txt. So if you want your search engines to index the page, you should check this. If you want to follow this your page, you should check this. And if you don't want to index this page, so you should also check this, and you should uncheck the first option. So this way your page will not be indexed by the Google search engine. So Google will read your robot.txt and it will understand that you don't want your particular page to be read by the search engine. So this is one of the important settings. There are obviously other settings you can go through later on, but these are the most important settings here. So I hope you understand the sitemap XML property and the uses. Let me go back to my PPT. The site verify is basically another modules which helps to verify your website with any search engine. There are several other search engines apart from Google, for example Bing, Alexa, and Yahoo has its own site search engines as well. So what you need to do, you need to verify your websites with different search engines with the help of site verify module. Let me go back to my Google instance. Let me search with site verify. Let me check if I have enabled this. Yes, I'm just enabling this modules. It was added from before into my sites all modules folder. Now let me configure this modules. Right now there is no verification tag has been added. Now let me add with Google. So you can see here you can add this meta tag like this. You will get this kind of script from the Google console, and you should just copy from there and paste it here, or else you can upload one HTML file being provided by Google console. So there are various ways. For example, the first one is by providing one HTML file which you need to copy inside your doc root or root folder and then save it from Google console. So this way your site will be verified by the Google search engine. Another option is you just put the meta keywords here and then you go into Google console and then save it, so your site will be verified. So you just or the other option is DNS. I didn't do that either, so I'm not going on to that, but it is also the similar thing. So but you just need to choose one options to verify your website uh, among these three options. Okay, and then you need to save these. Let me go back to PPT. The other one is Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is a modules which will help you to track your website activities by the different users by the Google, and Google will actually create the reports, and it will track the day-to-day activities by the different users into the Google Analytics dashboard. But in order to do that, you need to put the Google Analytics ID into your website. So let me go to the modules. Let me search with the Google. Yes, I have added this modules from before, and I'm just going to add this. Install. By saving the installation is complete. Now let me configure this one. So here you need to put the Google Analytics web property. Once that is done, your site is actually connected to the Google Analytics. So I'll go into details for Google Analytics the other another session, but for now just you understand that the Google console will share one Google Analytics unique ID for each websites, and this way it can track your website in order to generate the different kind of reports when the users is coming, how long the different users are consuming into your websites in particular sessions, or in what kind of URLs or contents the users are interested. So all those activities you can track in a Google Analytics profile provided by the Google. But before that, you need to do this configurations from your end in the website. So in the next sessions I'll go into GTM about the triggering variable creations by the GTM in details. But for today I think I'm going to end this sessions. Hope you like this. If you like these sessions, please subscribe.